All right, welcome back. 49ers at Packers Divisional Round 2022. The Packers opened at 4.5, but are now 6-point favorites. The Packers will be playing their 61st all-time playoff game. So the game is on 1/22/2022, and the date numerology is 11, which is pretty significant. Packers lead the series 38-32-1. And the Packers are tied with the 49ers 4-4 all-time in the postseason. So let's not waste any time. There is a quick 1771 narrative we got to get to. And so during the regular season, the Packers played their 71st matchup versus the 49ers, if you remember that. Jimmy G entered with a 20-7 away record all-time, and you should know by now 71 is the 20th prime number. Jimmy G can stay at 20 wins away all-time, right? And 17 is the 7th prime number, and Rodgers can get his 7th home win in the postseason in 17, 7th prime. Now for a deeper narrative, 37 and 73 in the 12 and 21 narrative. I go over this all the time. So Packers can get their 37th postseason win all time versus the 49ers. And unfortunately, Jimmy G can get his 37th all-time win in this game as well, but that's just not going to happen. All right, more lines up for the Packers on this side of the narrative. 12 and 21 are mirror numbers. 37 is the 12th prime, and 73 is the 21st prime. Rodgers can stay at 21 home losses all time in the 21 season. Rodgers can go 7-3 at home in the postseason, and 73 is the 21st prime number. Rodgers can get his 12th win all time in the postseason. 37 is the 12th prime number. He can do this in his 21st postseason game all time. Now remember week 3 when the 49ers played the Packers, how Rodgers was 37 years old, how Shanahan got his 37th loss, how Rodgers stayed at 73 losses all time, making both teams 2-1 to start the 21 season, right? Remember how Rodgers entered week 3 versus the 49ers with 37 completions total on the season? Remember how the Packers entered with 37 wins versus the 49ers all time and they got their 38th? From the game until Garoppolo's birthday was a span of 37 days. Remember how Rodgers led a game-winning drive with 7 seconds left on the clock? And that week, LaFleur decided to start Yosh Nijman, and that was big news, number 73. 73, the 21st prime. Everybody starting 2-1. And now here we are, with the Packers having the chance to get their 37th playoff win all time versus the 49ers. And now remember Aaron Rodgers' record-breaking Christmas Day Christ rituals, right? I pointed this out on my Twitter at the time of the game, during the game. Well, one of my followers, I won't mention his name now. If he wants a shout out, I'd be more than happy to give it to him. He's been following me probably the longest, so that I know about. And so yeah, I won't mention your name. Thank you, you know who you are. So I watched 2 of the videos of Amplified Truth Gematria, and he details the number 11 and their connection to Janus. And I will link those videos in my description because they're relevant and he explained them well, and so there's no need to rehash it here if he already explained it really well. So he pointed out that a helicopter catch was made by, I believe it was Devin Funchess, who was on the Packers but never actually took a snap for us. And there was a helicopter catch that was made that I wasn't aware of where they dropped a ball from a helicopter, and Devin Funchess for some reason was wearing number 11, and he caught the ball, and then the guy who ran up next to him was wearing the number 1. And the 111 symbolism I was documenting on Christmas Day, that was before I knew about any of the Janus stuff and the number 11 correlations. So check that out. It is interesting to note that Janus is the ruler of gates and portals. So I did look that up. I wasn't personally familiar with the Janus mythology, but it definitely relates to all the Back to the Future symbolism that I've been going on about since week 2, right? Because Janus rules time, Janus rules portals and gates, and opening up the gates of Rome is pretty serious. The kings of Edom, the kings of Rome, Judaic mythology that I'm going to be going over with you in my next video. So anyways, Janus the ruler of the gates, portals, I just read up on that, and that maps right on to Back to the Future symbolism. So the point being is His work on Janice and the Doppelganger Rogers, which oddly enough I hadn't been able to get to, is completely relevant. And I think that you might as well just go check out his video, see that, come back, check out my video next week where I detail more in-depth narrative on the esoteric side of things that are going down, the Judaic and Gnostic mythology that maps on. So anyways, Garoppolo comes in 1-1 away. That's an 11. He can go 1-2, like 12, like the 12th prime, number 37, which the Packers get their 37th postseason win versus the 49ers, right? So if Rodgers goes to the Super Bowl, he can get his 6th win, which will make him 6-6 away in the postseason all time. If you add up 1 through 11, it equals 66. 66, the 11 triangle number. So notice how Packers can start this postseason with their 37th victory. And if you divide 111 by 3, which is the Trinity, it equals 37. So you notice how Rodgers finished last season with 11 postseason wins all time, and he begins this one with 11 wins, right? Because he lost on 11. And so 11 is the shells in Judaic myth, cursed, and the 1 + 1 equals 2. And so it's cursed because 2 is not 1, the monad, right? I wanted to put in another note about the 11 real quick, and that is, obviously 1 is the monad, like I just said. It contains all the other 9 numbers in itself. 1 can't be divided, right? You divide 1 by 1, you get 1. It can't be multiplied. 1 times 1 equals 1. It can be added, making it part of a series. So 1 + 1 + 1 equals 3. So how do we get the number 2, right, if we can't multiply or divide 1? Because unlike 0, right, 0 can't be added. 0 is this totality, this negative existence almost. So how you get it, right, is by reflection of 1 itself. So 1, unlike 0, is definable. So if you can define it, then it can be reflected. It can form a duplicate image of itself. So this is how we get to the number 2, composed of 1 and its reflection. So it's interesting to note that Garoppolo enters 1-1 away. By reflection, he gets to 1-2. Rodgers enters with 11 total wins. By reflection, we get to 12, the 2, right? So 1 reflected by 1 brings us to 2. And it's interesting that they both enter with the 1-1 and the 11 connection, and then Garoppolo's going to go 3-2, and he's going to go 1-2 away on 1-2-2, 2022. So and Rodgers is going to get his 12th win and their 37th. Packers get their 37th win, 37 the 12th prime. He goes to 7-3 at home all time in the postseason. 73, 21st prime. He stays at 21 losses. You add up 1 through 11, it equals 66, right? You add up 1 through 6, I believe you get to 21. Rodgers stays at 21. So there's a lot going on with that. Again, go check out that video. I'll link it in the description. All the information that we can gather is always great. And then come back, because I'm going to talk more about Judaic and Gnostic mythology, how it maps on, and how the gates that he was talking about with Janus is completely relevant. So, gather all the information you can, and do all the research that you possibly can. Everything helps. The quarterback's birthdays, right? So the 9s, the 90, the 52 narrative. Rodgers enters with 9 losses all time. He can stay at 9 losses. This would give Rodgers his 90th win at home all time. 9 + 0 equals 9. It's a total of 285 days from the game until Garoppolo's next birthday, and a span of 285 days till LaFleur's birthday, because their birthdays are a day apart. So 285 is deficient, meaning the sum of its parts equal 195, which is less than 285, and 285 is deficient by 90. Rodgers gets his 90th win all time. Now Rodgers' last birthday till his game is a total of 52 days. Garoppolo is playing his 52nd game all time versus the Packers. On the more speculative side, 52 is deficient. The sum of its parts equal 46. It's Shanahan's 86 all-time game. The sum of the parts of 86 equal 46. The sum of the parts of 46 equal 26. 26, 13 times 2. 52, 13 times 4. The Packers get their 39th win, 13 times 3. Right? So on the crappy side, Rodgers could go 6-4 at home, but that's probably not going to happen. So I would be shocked. Garoppolo's 52nd game, right? 52 is the 5th bell number. Now, we have the 51, 151, and 36 connection. So Rodgers can get his 151st all-time win versus the 49ers. 151 is the 36 prime number. Packers enter with 36 postseason wins all time. He can get to 37. From Rodgers' last birthday till the game is a span of 51 days. Jimmy G can stay at 36 all-time wins, and Rodgers can get his 151st all-time win, a span of 51 days from his birthday, and 151 is the 36 prime, which leaves Jimmy G at 36 wins, right? So here's why the 36 narrative is so big. Because 36 is combined of the first 4 even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8 equals 20, and the first 4 odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7 equals 16. 20 and 16 equals 36. So as you can see, Garoppolo stays at 20 away wins, gets his 16th all-time loss. That's 20 and 16. First 4 even, first 4 odd. Then he stays at 36 all-time wins. In Rodgers' 151st win all-time, which is the 36 prime. Now Jimmy G can get his 8th all-time road loss and stay at 36 wins all-time. Now if you add up 1 through 8 equals 36. So 36, the 8th triangular number. If you add up 1 through 36, it equals 666. And if you add up 1 through 6, it equals 21, and Rodgers can stay at 21 home losses all time. Now 21 is the 8th Fibonacci number, so Rodgers stays at 21 losses, Jimmy G gets his 8th, 21 8th Fibonacci. And let's not forget that 6 is 9, right? And Peter Burkowski tweeted on 120 that the Packers have scored 30 points 6 times since week 11. And he also said that the 49ers have scored 36 times all season. 36 times, 36 since week 11, 36, okay? And that's fairly interesting because we know the 36 narrative, right? Now the 39 and 13 narrative ties in because 6 is 9, right? The Packers can get their 39th win versus the 49ers all time in this game. LaFleur finished his first 3 seasons with 39 regular season wins. 13 times 3 is 39. So the first team to have 3 13-win seasons consecutively is the Packers. If the Packers win the Super Bowl, they will get their 39th playoff win all time in that game. And this time it's a span of 39 days from Shanahan's last birthday until this matchup. And Rodgers got his 139th win in LaFleur's 39th game all time in that regular season matchup with the 49ers. He did it on Sunday Night Football, which equals 39. The last time the 49ers and the Packers played in the regular season, LaFleur coached his 39th game all time. LaFleur did this a total of 39 days before his last birthday. The win made LaFleur 30-9 all time. Now, he did it 39 days before his last birthday. Now Shanahan comes in 39 days from his last birthday. That made LaFleur 30-9 all time, 30-9, 39. The big story that week was if Jenkins, number 74, would play. Remember that? And it was a span of 13 weeks from the game till Jenkins' birthday. 13 times 3 equals 39. The Packers can get their 39th all-time win versus the 49ers, right? 13 times 3 equals 39. Rodgers can get to the Super Bowl and play in his 23rd postseason game all time. 2 squared plus 3 squared equals 13, which is 4 plus 9 equals 13. 49ers, right? This game is so much about the number 13. 2 is the first even number. 3 is the first odd number. So combine 2 times 3, it equals the 6 days of creation. The first female number and the first male number combining to form the 6. Now Rodgers could get his 6th away win in the Super Bowl and stay at 6 away losses in the postseason. So 6 and 6. We know 13 is the 6th prime, and that the Packers will be entering a Super Bowl with 13 total championships. Rodgers threw his record-breaking touchdown pass to Allen Lazard, number 13. According to Standeo, 13 is to represent Satan, the serpent. And there's going to be more on this in a future video coming soon. But in light of the 2 squared plus 3 squared equals 13, right? The 4 plus 9. The 49ers can stay at 32 wins versus the Packers, and Garoppolo can fall to 3-2 in his 5th playoff game, 32, which gives Garoppolo his 8th loss, keeping Rodgers on his way to his 23rd game in the Super Bowl with the giant 88-888 ritual versus Stafford. So 8 is the augury, derived by a combo of 2 and 3. 2 cubed equals 8. See how this all ties in together? To be clear, the absolute importance of the number 13 on this game cannot be overstated. Garoppolo enters to play his 52nd game all time. 13 times 4 equals 52. Okay, 52 days from Rodgers' last birthday, 13 times 4 equals 52. Rodgers can finish the season with 91 total home wins if he wins in the NFC Championship game. That's 13 times 7, 91. The Packers can get their 39th postseason win in the Super Bowl. 13 times 3 equals 39. LaFleur finished the 21 season with 39 regular season wins. 13 times 3. Packers can get their 39th win versus the 49ers today. 13 times 3. Notice how everything is a multiple of 13. 13 is a unifying force. Okay? In Hebrew, 1 or unity equals 13. In every Hebrew cipher, right? And 12 is the number of lines that border a cube. And then all connect in the center, which is the 13th, right? 13 is a huge narrative. I can't go into all the stuff because I got another video coming, and you can check that out. But also notice the 13 and 8 connections and the 23 and 8 connections. So you notice the 13 and 8, the 23 and 8 connections, 888, Back to the Future 88. I've been documenting this since week 2. Matt Stafford could come in the NFC Championship game with 88 total wins all time. And we'll talk about that in his 188th game, Back to the Future. Which is why, these things are relevant to, somebody like Amplified Truth Gematria's Janus work, because Janus rules time. But the differentiation between with those gates of Rome and the opening up of the gates of Rome, Edom, Christianity, and the eradication of that culture is very important to the 613 mitzvot of Judaism and Judaic myth. So we'll get into that in the future videos. Gnosticism. So there are more esoteric things happening with this number, the 44 connection, right? And I'll get to that in the future, but for now it's enough to know that LaFleur could get his 44th win all time in the Super Bowl, and Shanahan can get his 44th loss all time versus LaFleur and the Packers. And this 44, just to say quick, does have a lot to do with the Trinity. Okay, because in Hebrew, Father, Mother, Son, the Trinity, equals 44. And the androgynous nature of man being one being as containing a mother, a father, symbolized in the Son, is very important to understand as we move forward. So the 54 connection, Rodgers can stay at 54 losses all time in the postseason away, and LaFleur's 54th game all time. They like to do this, map LaFleur and Rodgers stuff together, like how against the 49ers, it was 39 days to LaFleur's birthday, Rodgers got his 139th win, and the whole 39 bit. So 5 plus 4 equals 9. Rodgers stays at 9 postseason losses. 5 times 4 is 20. Jimmy G stays at 20 away wins all time. And then you got the San Francisco 49ers, right? San Francisco equals 122. All right, the Packers play the 49ers on 1/22/22, right? Rodgers' birthday is 12/2, like 122. Now you have Whitney Merciless, should be returning for the Packers, number 50. And I believe in Hebrew, and the Kabbalistic interpretation of 50 is like death. And so there is a sort of dying, sacrificial type code going on. Rodgers could get his 76 loss all time, 76, but don't count on that. That's not going to happen. I think they got Rodgers to 75 losses all time because that matches the 75 patch on the 49ers uniform. And Rodgers growing up in that area, As a 49ers fan, it's only fitting his career map onto the 49ers 75 tribute by staying at 75 loss all time versus the 49ers. In the 49ers equal 55, 52. All right, Garoppolo's 52nd game, 52 days total from Rodgers' last birthday. Rodgers could get 55th loss, but again, that's probably not going to happen. Rodgers was John Wick for Halloween. This is important, and it goes much deeper. All this John Wick stuff, but it's about a retired hitman who comes out of retirement to avenge his killed dog, and a dog in Hebrew Gematria equals 52 and 7. So Rodgers get his 7th home win in the postseason 52 days from his last B-Day, and Garoppolo's 52nd game. John Wick itself equals 93, 39, 123, and 42 in English Gematria, the 4 base ciphers. So as you see, the 39th Packers win in this year's Super Bowl would make that costume choice pretty solid because John Wick equals 39. And get this, Rodgers finished the 21 regular season with 93 total regular season interceptions, and in English Ordinal, John Wick equals 93. And entering this postseason, Rodgers has 13 total career interceptions, right? What are the odds of that? In a year when like everything's a multiple of 13 and we got all this 13 narrative. Like I said, we documented the Back to the Future 88 narrative since week 2 in time travel, different dimensions, the ruler of time, and we know Saturn is prominent in the scripters' narratives, the people who script the game. Saturn rules time. Saturn equals 93 and 21, and there's your 93 interceptions in the 21 season. The king of the North and the king symbolism is extremely, extremely important. So as you can see, there's playoff record 36 and 24. They can get to 39 wins by the Super Bowl. They can get their 37th today, 37-12 prime. Here's Rodgers, right, with the crown on his head. Crown is Kether. That is the monad. And then there's the king represented by the number 6. So Rodgers get his 6th win in the playoffs. On the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. So the crown is symbolic of Kether in the supernal Trinity. Then under it is the actual person, the man, the king, right? The Christ center. And that's Rodgers, represented by Rodgers. And over here is Jaws, and we're going to get into that symbolism because it represents something pretty serious and to the whole narrative of everything that's going on. Rodgers is the king of the North, as they're saying. So and they've dubbed him that for a while now, and he's the Hail Mary King. So the king symbolism is very important, but it's important to establish that he is a Gentile king, but that he also is in reference to a certain Messiah. So in Judaic myth. So Rodgers is referred to as King of the North. King equals 9, 36, 90, and 570. The king symbolism in the overall narrative cannot be understated, like I just said. It's Judaic and Gnostic mythological symbolism, which is mapping on to the games and to the narrative of the meta-narrative, rather. And we'll be explaining in a future video. So for now, in the context of the game, Rodgers is the king, right? And he can stay at 9 losses in the postseason all time. King equals 9. Jimmy G can stay at 36. We already went over how important the 36 was. King equals 36. Rodgers can get his 90th home win all time, and obviously king equals 90. And this is all in Hebrew. So the Hebrew word for king, I didn't copy and paste the Hebrew word. So did you see how king maps onto this game in every way? It's pretty crazy. Sagittarius equals 8 and 62, and Rodgers can get his 62nd away win in the Super Bowl. And we've been talking about the 888. Jesus equals 888 in Gnostic myth. And, you know, I just want to get into that in a different video. But Rodgers was born in December, right? Sagittarius. Back to the Future symbolism shown about Stafford and Goff was during Rodgers' Monday night game against Goff. And that was 88 symbolism because Rodgers wore number 8 at Cal, Goff wore number 16. They did a big Cal breakdown at the beginning of the game. Rodgers number 8, Goff 16. 16 is 8 plus 8. That's an 888. They did the Back to the Future symbolism 88. I'll just repost that thing. But he can get his 62nd win all time, away win all time in the Super Bowl, and Sagittarius equals 62 in Hebrew. And Sag is ruled by Jupiter, lightning, and they use lightning to time travel and Back to the Future, if you remember. So Jimmy G can get his 8th away loss all time versus the Rodgers this week, and we already documented how all the different 8 narratives and stuff like that. So I could go on and on and on, but I believe the Packers will win and advance to the NFC Championship game. And then I will break down the other divisional games and the meta narrative in a separate video, with less detail, and I'll also be posting another video next week with a deeper dive into the insane stuff that's going on esoterically between the Judaic mythology, the Gnostic mythology, and all the stuff that's going on with Rodgers and this overall Super Bowl narrative. But as you're seeing, it starts to get pretty deep. So yeah, let's all just keep breaking this down and getting as much information as possible about this Super Bowl run. Go Pack Go. May the script be ever in our favor. And stay tuned for my divisional round game. Go back and watch my week 2 stuff with the 88 symbolism. Go back and watch that breakdown I did of the 49ers game. And get yourself ready for this one. All right. Go Pack.